Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio. Join myself, Oxchair, on the show this evening as one and a half of the dynamic duo. This week, it's Big Stevie. Evening, Stephen.
How you doing, folks? All right. Welcome to the big station, serving the nation. It's Dream Team Wednesday. How are you, Oxford?
Yes, it's like Batman without Robin, Stan without Ollie, and Little without Large, mate. Yeah.
Certainly is.
He should be with us shortly, but not unlike yourself, who was posted missing on a gallivanting last Wednesday. You were sorely missed, mate. Sorely missed.
Aye, sorry, I had my eyes tied up. Something I couldn't get out of.
I believe you pay extra. I believe you pay extra for that.
Sausage for the company you were getting at that. Was that an all you can eat buffet? Terrible.
Ah, well. You know us, mate. You know us, eh?
Yep.
Yes. How are you?
Don't expect
You all right, mate? You all right, mate? Yeah.
Aye.
Yep. Right, okay. News broke officially for the club today. I don't know if you picked up on it. Rangers did announce that Kevin Thelma was the sporting director. He comes in with a decent pedigree, mate. Only time will tell. You know, you can read all the CVs, you can read what somebody's done. It means nothing. It's what you deliver for us. That, I mean, in a selfish point of view, Stevie, that's all we're interested in, isn't it?
That's the bottom line. I mean, it doesn't matter how big his CV is and what players and what he's done at other clubs. It's what he does here, isn't it? It matters. And only time will tell.
Yes, but it seems that things are moving, yeah. You know, we've got the CEO on. We've got to tick the box. We know that Barry and the boys are interim, carrying the can to the end of the season, and there'll be decisions to be made, but we've got people in now that will be jointly getting involved in making the decisions, so things look as if they're moving, mate, yeah?
There's a lot going on behind the scenes, sure, but we're just not, they'll be crossing the T's and dotting the I's on the takeover as well, you know. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes.
Can I ask you a question, mate, yeah?
Certainly can. Fire away.
Obviously, you're a young boy. Well, not so young boy, if you know what I mean now, but he's moving on. What's his take on it? You know, the what's happening at the club and the takeover?
Well, what we just read between the lines talking to him, and I think they're all up for it because it can't be any worse than what they've already been watching all the years. I mean, Jamba's what, 18? And it's I've seen us lifting trophies away. I seen as a young boy seen us lifting trophies. So I think they're up for it, and I think Jamie's kind of looking forward to it. And hopefully it brings a few bob and they can strengthen that team in the park.
Because ultimately you can talk about nice fancy seats, a mega burger if you like. It's the team on the park, isn't it?
It's all about us stems for one on the park box. Everything else comes after. We need a winning team on that park. We're long overdue one for that support, the young boys. We follow the Rangers everywhere, home and away and abroad. And it's all about them for me, you know. I've seen the glory days, Ox. I've seen good and the bad. And they boys haven't seen the good. They've not seen the glory days at all. So it's all about them for me. And it starts off with the first kick of the ball and the first kick of the next season. And hopefully we've got everything we need. A wee bag of money and we'll get the best resources and just see where it takes us. We've got to beat them now, you know what I mean? We're living rent-free in their heads. They can talk about this and that, but we've gubbed them the last twice, so we had to, we've got it. We'll be all right, but we need to make sure there's no project sucks. We need kind of decent players just to come in and hit the ground running. That's what we're looking for.
Could you say they've got to be Govan ready? Stevie, yeah?
Sorry, what was that, Ox?
Could you say they've got to be Govan ready?
Oh, definitely. They've got to be eye ready. They've definitely got to be eye ready. No, they've got to be hit the ground running. They've got to know what it's all about. They've got to have a wee bit of iron, a wee bit of swagger about them, you know. Listen, it's Glasgow Rangers. These boys are coming for. We can't accept getting out with the wrong mentality. It's a mentality thing for me. We've got better players than all these other teams. It's just a mentality thing. You can't go out there and think you're just to stroll it and win it. You're winning no bother. No matter who you're playing. It's everybody's cup final playing the Glasgow Rangers. And it's a mentality thing. And we've got to get the mentality right.
Aye. You know, you've got to have the cojones, mate. It's not just having the ability, yeah, and the pressure. A lot of good players, good football players have failed, mate, because it's intense, mate, and it doesn't suit everybody, yeah.
No, it definitely doesn't suit everybody. I've been saying it for years in this show. Silky Soccer doesn't win you games at St Johnstone a Wednesday night or a Thursday night in the pea and rain. You can't play decent football in some of these parts. And by the way, with teams with a low block and everything else that they do, they don't like you play football. They're in with the elbows, they do the dark arts. And this season, our boys weren't up for that. Our boys were just not up for that. And we need to make sure that we're going to sign guys that's going to be gutsy and is going to have fight and determination to get you on that line, no matter what. No matter what the formation is, no matter what games they try and play on you, the dark arts, that our boys are up and ready for that. I just think, our boys this season, they're too nice. They're too nice. They really are. Not enough guile, fight, determination, and they're certainly not got the right attitude. And that's why the longevity of this season, I mean, the big games you're up for, and then you go and fling it away against the rubbish. It just tells you the same story. It's a mentality thing.
When you look at our squad, we're three experienced pros who play well. I'll take Proper out of the equation because he's not played every week, but he is one of our experienced pros. The guys that are in their 30s, if you like, is Tavernier, Bessers, and Jack Butland. Now, I'm going to give James Tavernier a pass because his longevity with the club and what he's done. And we'll come on, I'm sure, when Southside appears, we'll talk about James Tavernier because I know that he's got somebody wants to talk about. But however, they two, the number 1 and number 9, and I'm not wanting to go back to your old territory of all bears going on, but ultimately, they've let us down, mate, and they're the big part of the experienced pros, and it's a big part of your team up the middle of the park, mate. You know, and left and right of them, there has been young boys. Even Jeffy, he's raw. He's showed promise. He's been absolutely bomb scary at times. Yeah, he's got assets in his game. He's got some leap. He's really quick. He can make a tackle, but if you just let somebody walk away from you and they score a goal, it's no point having all these things. You've got to, the full package has got to be there. You've had Raskin's reassertions and how he's been played. Diamandi, they're relatively young, a decent age. You know, you've had Cherny, who's shown promise at times, a lone player, who struggled with Barjami, etc. Hadjis, which is if you could believe in it. So, but the experienced pros have really let us down, mate. Yeah.
The two positions you mentioned, your goalkeeper and your centre forward, you could probably argue the point that they're the two positions that you really need to be on it nearly every week. Big Deserts. Look, we've said that he's an enigma. He does, when he's got time to think, he's hopeless. When he's no time to think, he does stuff that you go, wow, where did that come from? And that just sums the boy up. Your goalkeeper, dear, I've been going on about him for a wee while now. Even before people started to notice, I was saying to Jamba, like Butland, I don't like him. I don't like him. And even when people were saying, oh, he was a fantastic keeper, he was worth this and worth that. I didn't quite get what where they were getting figures for if we were selling them and where they were getting some of the stuff with. For me, Butland's let us down badly, big time. He came here the first season he was wow. You're saying right, brilliant. McGregor, this boy's looking good. This boy's got all the potential there to be a right good goalie for Rangers. And then wow, I don't know what happened to the boy. I don't know if it's confidence or what happened to him, but I'll tell you, we're used to our keepers making maybe one, maybe two mistakes a season. No one in every three. You're dropping the ball down to a player or you're strapping it, punching it into the net. He was a liability in the end up the beginning, and Barry Ferguson dropping him. I think he done the right thing. That's just my opinion. He done the right thing. But Dessers, you could argue the point, would he be a good second striker, a new striker? I mean, I'd definitely buy a new striker, a main striker, and I would have Dessers as his understudy, you know. But that's just me. But no ways Dessers your main striker. Could you trust him to be a 1-on-1 with a keeper and a finally a Hampden or whatever? I don't think you could, mate. I really don't. So for me, it would probably make a good striker come on off the bench or something like that. But definitely, he's not going.
I don't like Cyril. I don't dislike Cyril Dessers, the man. He frustrates me as a football player, mate. Some of the basics he doesn't do, and the attributes he's got, his physicality, and getting involved. Yeah, he's not the quickest. He scores brilliant goals and misses absolute sitters. He gets in positions and should score a lot more goals, mate. A lot more goals.
Yep. Look, see when
However, I would punt him, Stevie, and I'll tell you why. Yeah, I'll tell you why, and it's simple. His age, his wage, and he's got 2 years left in his contract. Because you get to this time next year, he's going to say, "Well, I'm not going anywhere. I'll stay for another year. Then I'm free to sign for anybody for nothing." And it's time to use the model and time for him to go. In my opinion, mate. Oh, we're losing you, Stevie. I believe we've been joined by Southside. Evening, Southside.
Evening, mate. How are you?
All right, your good self.
Aye, I'm all right. Aye, sorry for the lateness.
No, understandable, mate. Understandable. You can't knock back all these supermodels.
I was cage fighting, mate. Didn't know what to tell you, but I managed to get the budgie back in the cage, so we're all right.
Well done, mate. Proud of you. It's the first purge you've tackled for a while.
So how's things anyway? I hear there's I was got a wee text there. I don't know what you've been talking about, but we've been confirmed there in that fans forum thing. I got a text in saying we're confirmed we'll be going Umbro.
I don't think that's a surprise to anybody. What I did pick up something today, Southside, the England national rugby team who were Umbro have went to Castore.
Aye.
So maybe they're thinking Umbro's more a football brand, yeah, if that makes sense.
Aye. There's a wee bit more detail in it. I know Castore's got the licence for it and that, but for what I get sent there, I've not had a chance to look at it because he's obviously just firing me stuff as they're talking about it, but he said that strangers wish to go back to Umbro. So, I don't know. I don't know how far it'll go by Castore, but anyway, that's just the first thing you get mentioned at the forum thing tonight.
Well, it's a mere historical brand, isn't it?
Aye.
You know, and if you think back, with decent success with Umbro at times, yeah. Sometimes not so good in the early 80s, but as times moved on in the back end of the 80s, yeah, Umbro were some iconic strips for us, didn't they?
Aye, certainly did. And obviously they'll be looking to get if that's the way we're going with it, and it'll be Umbro. That's what it'll be for the next foreseeable. But we'll find out in time. Obviously there's a lot of developments happening at the moment, isn't there?
Aye, more half the part. As I said, I was talking to a wise man today, and I said I'm more interested in the new centre half is which strip we play on. I like decent football strips. I like these nice strips. By the way, the one that's been leaked, the away strip, my initial thoughts are I don't like it. I don't mind the colours, but I don't like that particular tap. Yeah, but that's just me personally. Stevie, are you with us, mate?
Yes, I'm with you.
Oh, that's better, mate. That's better, mate. Yeah, we're worried about you there, mate. Yeah.
That's all right.
Yeah.
Listen, boy, I'm a bit disappointed. I like Castor, I really did. I like Castor. I like working hand in hand with them. I remember 55, the Castor boys, put all the posters up and everything. It was all brilliant. It was all good. But what do you think why did Rangers want to move? Is it more money?
It's the same company, mate. Castor have took your Umbro, and my understanding, and they see Umbro as a football brand, and that's that's my understanding. It's a lot of educated guesses. My behalf that Umbro's more a historic football brand, and obviously Castor they've moved into a lot of other sports. Golf, as I just said, they went for England rugby union team. Have went for Rumborough to actually Castor. They announced that today. Yeah, and obviously we've made that official. Not official, but we'll put it in the public. It's been rumoured for a long time that that's going to happen. So I don't see it as long as the deal's like for the club and everybody's happy, I'm all right. Yeah, Stevie.
Aye, listen, I just can't get my head around how Castor's bought Umbro and we went to them and we're already Castor. I just, there must be something in it for Rangers, surely. There must be. Why would you change it? Whether they're still part of it or no. Why would you change? I just think the Castor badge is a far nicer badge for the wings there and that. And I just, for me, I would have rather just think Castor. That's just who I'm.
I think that
Anyway.
I can only think that they think that Umbro's more a historic football brand. Southside.
Aye, I want the rights to something to license it and all that at the moment. But whether we'll stay with Castor long term or no, I don't know. Stevie, this is the thing. It'll be up to them going forward. I think there's still a year or two of the deal left. So if we're going under the Umbro banner for the badge and for promoting Umbro, then that's what we'll do. And if that's what sort of picture I seen the other day, is anything to go by. I didn't fancy the look of that top either, to be perfectly honest, Tops.
No, what I can understand about it, mate, if you were playing any team that played in red, white and blue, you'd have a colour clash.
Aye, well, technically to a point, I suppose. Depends on the full kit, tap-wise, but no, I didn't like the look of it. I know it looks alright, it's sort of get the red, white and blue on it, but I didn't really like the look of it, to be honest. But if that's what comes out and that's it, then that'll be it, won't it?
No, we're not the market, you know what I mean? I mean, it's always hard to get the small mediums in it, as you know, Southside.
Aye, it's been hard done, as long as they're not tight fit.
You know, the professional ones are quite tight, Stevie.
No comment.
You know. But watch this space, and ultimately, you're hoping if you get success with the jersey you wear, that creates demand, doesn't it? Let's be honest. You know, it's that's what happens, isn't it? You'll get the initial rush, and then if the team are playing well, you get more demand. It's as simple as that. As Stevie said earlier on, Southside, it's not about the mega burger at the catering. It helps. All these things help, but it's a team on the park you're looking for, eh?
Yep.
Southside.
100%. That's what we look for. All interested in what's on the park and the team, and it's about winning. And everything else normally takes care of itself. And normally, when you're successful and you're winning stuff, nobody really worries about what's happening in the background, or who's nobody starting all the time. They're costing us a few quid in wages because the team's winning. But obviously, when you're not going through that spell, and you're trying to rebuild what you were doing, a rebuild again after a rebuild after a rebuild. Something we have to get it right, and hopefully this time round, when we're getting a CEO in and we'll get a manager in, listen, everything must be sitting in the background. They'll know exactly who's coming in. It's probably been decided, and it's just a matter of announcing it when. It's not like they're going to take the keys and take over and go, what we got to do next? So they've obviously got the jigsaw puzzle there, and they're obviously going to be putting it in together.
The four corners in. They're getting the four corners in place.
Foundation, mate. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you know what it's like, mate, when you do the 3 to 6 months jigsaw, mate. You know what I mean? You've got to get the corners right.
It's the corners that's normally so right, so when you get to the rest, it's a struggle.
Stevie, you're made a 12 to 18 month man with the jigsaws in you.
Oh, I'm not to get to the end and there's 2 bits missing.
That's because it's a fruit bowl. You eat the cherries, mate. Oh dear. Aye, so things are definitely moving. I mean, I believe it's been mentioned tonight that the boy that's come in, Kevin Thilwell, and by the way, big kudos to Fox, mate. He was hours in front of everybody with that announcement yesterday. I think it first broke the daily record about 7 o'clock last night. He told me about this at 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And we never opened in the show because we were doing a wee bit of digging. But Fox was spot on. And he's come out with another snippet tonight that Mr. Thirlwell, Kevin, Mr. Thirlwell, I'll stick to, is looking to bring in his Gareth Prosser to Ibrox. He previously worked for him. He's the head of the academy chief at Everton. So he's looking to bring him in as well. He'd worked for him at Wolves, so watch his space. So there's things moving. Now, we don't know how successful or how good these guys are going to be. Only time will tell, and I suppose it'll be the tools and the support they get will determine that as well. Stevie?
Correct. That's absolutely correct. Where do you think the Fox gets his digging and his tips and that? I think that's a boy.
Sometimes, mate. Sometimes. He does get some things up there, mate, yeah.
He's some man, isn't he? He comes out with some belters, so he does. Well done to the Fox, if we got it right hours before it came out. There you go, eh?
Yes.
That's RangersRadio. The listeners are getting it here first. There you go.
Kudos to the Fox. Kudos to the Fox.
Yep.
You know. I don't know. He's got an extensive black book, Stevie. Extensive.
It's not a red book.
Not black.
More than a number in my little red book.
Yes.
It is what it is, but you're totally right. What we're talking about earlier on, see all the off the part stuff, nobody will care about that if we start the season strong and get right in about it. But there's no time for sentiment now. See guys like Tav and the goalie and big, they've got to go. The American boys have got to come in, they've got to give a wee pot to work with, and they've got to make sure whoever they're bringing in manager-wise, they need to get it right. They need to get it right. They need to galvanise the team, the manager, and the fans.
Give me a name, Stevie. Give me a name.
But you know something? I've never really thought. But what I would say is, if somebody told me Stevie G was coming back, I wouldn't say not to him. And I'm one of the guys that wasn't happy the way he left us. But there was rumours about because he was to get financial back and he left and all this and that. We'll never know. We'll just never know. But I wouldn't be too bothered if he was coming back. I'll tell you that right now. Because I think the guy's a winner. Especially here with us.
Outside.
There's no denying he's a winner. He's just not get tactical experience, Stevie. He knows the league, he knows the club, but let's not be kidded. He always used to sort of refer to him, and Beale was the sort of guy he admits to that done the stuff, tactics and stuff like that. And listen, there's a rumour that if he does come back, or he is coming back, that Beale will not be part of it at all in any way, shape or form. The boys I think we've missed is Culshaw and Milson. I think they two, and there's another one, I can't remember his name, But they two, tactics and fitness and coaching and that, the fitness coaches and that, because we were as fit as anything when Gerrard came in. He built that squad, and you seen he was playing extra time, European nights and everything, still turning up for a cup final, and still turning up in games and winning games regularly. Won the league through undefeated in a league campaign, goals thing. I mean, he comes, it's attractive, he's a guy who can attack players will want to come and play for him at the club. It's Steven Gerrard you're working under, but I think you would need somebody to, if he's coming in, would need to be tactically in beside him, and it can't be Michael Beale. But I still think he still lacks, if you look since he left us, Stevie, his record's not been very good.
I'm here.
So at the end of the day, when it comes down to that, we need somebody that's proven, I think, and is going to know what the job entails. He's the main man, he's a figure, he did it, but I think you still need the brains to work in behind it. He'll have the fear factor and the standards and all that, but you need somebody that's good at coaching, sets out tactics, and that's where he brought in Michael Beale today, because he knew he wasn't good at that. So if he does come back, he'll need to come back with an assistant that's hopefully good tactically wise, as well as him putting a bit of it done. And but you know yourself, he wasn't the brains behind it, Stevie, at the time.
I know that, I get that.
Did you mention brains, Southside? Did you mention brains? I'm here, mate. I'm here. They don't have to look for me.
Yeah, I noticed that. I know, but you know what I mean.
Who are you thinking? Does anybody spring in mind?
No. Yeah. I'll tell you, Klopp should have come in. He could have done it, but I don't, to be honest, and I don't like the road of certain ones I've heard. I mean, someone in Top Sport today was Sean Dyche, man. Come on.
And that's because he's not working, isn't it? It's lazy, and it's because he's not working, you know. And if he's a man for the job, you think he's a man for the job, go for him, but go for him just he's not working. You know what I mean?
That's the way we've tended to go in the past, isn't
it? Potentially, you know. But listen, you'd like to think they'll also be seeing they'll be sounding out people who's interested, and then you start looking, mate. Yeah, and I get out people, Stevie G. I enjoyed Stevie G at Rangers. I think he done a great job for where we were. Yeah, we should have won more trophies. We blew a treble, let's be honest. When St Johnstone won the 2 cups, we blew that treble, mate. You know, we should have won it. We blew it. We were only ourselves to blame. There was other cup finals that we were excellent in. The one we were robbed when Morelos missed the penalty, the offside goal, and we had off. It had been a boxing match, then we stopped at half time. We were that far in front, you know. So there was that as well. But I thought that what he'd done, where he took us to where he left, was pretty remarkable. It'd be a different project now, Stevie. I would think that if he came in, he'd want promises. And it's an if. We're only speculating here. We're not saying yes, no, he's got the job. All we're saying is, but I would think that if he walked in, he would want promises, yeah, and he would want guarantees. And I think that'll all be, if it is going to happen, that'll all been spoken about, Stevie.
Aye. Listen, I think no matter who walks in the door, they're going to want guarantees and, you know, backing. So, I mean, that goes without saying. That's just a general thing. Somebody new comes in, but look, I was just saying after the Crawfords at Gerrard, because he has been. That's something I've never thought about. Southside, who was the two that you mentioned there? Who was the 2 managers that you mentioned there?
What, Sean Dyche?
No, before that.
Oh, Jurgen?
No, somebody, you mentioned a couple there before.
He was talking about the fitness staff, maybe, was it?
Oh, I was talking about him, I was talking about if Gerrard comes in, when he had Milson and Culshaw with him, the first time round, Stevie, fitness coaches and the set-piece coach and that, they were there the first time round, and I think they'd done a really, really good job when they were there, along with Stevie G. But there's no way, I mean, Stevie Naismith, I wouldn't even welcome him back for the half-time draw along with Stephen Whittaker, and now you've got Michael Beale in the same boat. So there's no chance we're finding him off and you're going to bring him back in a capacity. Nah, I think if Gerrard is getting the job or he's been sounded out, if he's even in the frame for it, like, he'll bring a backroom team, but I don't believe it'll involve Michael Beale in any way, shape or form.
That'll be interesting. Watch this space. Right, we'll get the phone line open. I think you had something you wanted to talk about and you wanted to test Big Stevie's Rangers knowledge. I was quite impressed. Whose side are you going to have a go?
Well, you setting me up here for nonsense here, Stevie. He's trying to put me against you here, I think. No, what knowledge is it?
I hate it when lovers fall out.
No, we're not going down that road. All love on here.
We're going to talk about, we mentioned him just before you came on, mate, James Tavernier, and I said you wanted to raise a point, but we'll get the phone lines opened and then I'll put the ball squarely in your court, south side, yes?
Aye, okay, if you want.
Okay, all right, let's hear from you.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Okay, Mr. Southside.
I'd seen just a couple of days ago, I'd heard a wee whisper for somebody that might be looking to sort out this testimonial for James Tavernier. So it made me think, is he getting to stay an extra season or is he leaving at the end of the season and they're still going to give him one? I think there's no many. The last one was Alan McGregor and he broke his spells. But I think it's unique if a player normally stays 10 years at one football club these days. I think James Tavernier, if he does get offered a testimonial, then I think it's fitting that we give him one. I think for his length of service, for what he's done for the club, for how long he's been there. And people all come at the end of their careers and people maybe want them out the door and whatever. But I think we'll not realise what we had till he's gone eventually, is what we've had out him as a right back. Switched off last week, cost a goal like we've seen happen many a time and all players do it. I can imagine people will be shouting that already, but I think for the length of time he's been at the club, I think nowadays that you'll not see that very often. Then I think if Rangers offer him a testimonial, then I would go.
So I'll tell you what you'll not see, whether you like Tav or you dislike Tav, and you say that the goals he's scored he's let some of that's in the negative because of the way he defends. But what you will not see is the level of consistency for somebody playing at that level, turning up and playing is remarkable. I mean, Connor Goldston at times were freakish, weren't they? You know?
Oh, he's always turned up for his work. I mean, he was out, I think 6 weeks maybe, at a push at one point.
Appendix,
something. He was out for about 5-6 weeks, but in his whole tenure here at the club, he's been fit just about every week. Never complains about nothing. Always turned up, and he was playing really well. And he's got deficiencies. I think in the last few weeks, apart from he was playing all right up until he switched off and let the guy go stand at the back, right? And he's lost a few goals in Europe. Listen, we lose goals in Europe anyway, so we can always pick out deficiencies in our players or where they should have done better. But you can see what he's done, and there'll hardly anybody one year will see these numbers that Tav's brought in assists and goals for that right back position, and even at that, you're really a wing back now. That's what you're meant to be classed as. To get forward in the numbers he's done up here, it's been phenomenal. I don't think he should have went into the Hall of Fame until he'd finished, if I'm perfectly honest.
I agree with that in total, mate. I agree with that in total.
I don't think that should have happened, but for whatever was happening at that time at the club, they obviously thought it was a good idea. But I think for the length of time he's been here, and I think if the club offer him it and he's going to take it on, then I think it's rightly deserved that he gets one. Because I don't think we'll see many players. When we're talking about signing players in ours, we keep saying we'll sign this player, we'll flip him in 2 years, we'll flip him in a year and a half, we'll flip him in 3 years. So the general thing about the support and some of it is, we'll just buy players and flip them straight away. But for what he cost, and for what we've had to him through turning up just about every single 60-odd games a season, just about every year, it's been phenomenal. When you look at some other players that we've had for shorter spells and have hardly been fit for the club.
Stevie?
You could argue the point, was a Rangers captain, was he a defender, but what you can't argue about is the way he's lived away from the game, the how he's kept himself fit, you know, and listen, he's a good pro, James Tavernier, and whether you like what he does in the part or no, the way he's lived off it and the way he's stood by the Rangers through trying times, continuity divisions and everything else, the boy's fitness and everything else. Yes, he does deserve it. For me, he does deserve it for that alone. And I total and utterly agree with the Beatties. He should never have been in that Hall of Fame until he left. But that's just that's how I see James Tavernier. You could argue the point about his defending. You could argue the point about him being a captain, because we were all used to seeing Terry Butchers and guys like that there, you know, and Richard Gough, no, captains like that, blood and guts. He was never that type of player. He's, you know, Tav for me, you know, he's the kind of softer. I know football's changed. I know people say it's a modern day game, the modern day captain and all the rest of it, but it's just how you're brought up in it. You know, I just didn't see Tav as a captain. You can't take his numbers away from him. On paper, wow, the goals, assists, and everything he's done there, and the amount of games the guy's played, he's never shied away. So for that alone, you know, I would give him his testimonial. No problem with James Tavernier having a testimonial. He's been a good servant to the club. Have we had value for money? Of course we have. What was he? What did we pay for Tav?
$250,000, I think.
£250,000. We get value for money, 110%.
When you think about it, I think Bridge paid more for his cinema room, if I'm honest.
Aye, in the toilet. Aye.
The guys in Blair and Palace thought they were the first ones to have a gold toilet, did they?
Listen, for the money and everything, they come up, okay, never got international honours and all that. Well, fair enough. And you might think, well, a lot of his personal accolades that we're talking about here. But listen, many players, do you think, have been through our club in a way since he came in the door? Captain-wise, I agree. More into like Barry in your face, Richard Gough, Terry Butcher, Graham Roberts. Captains like that you remember. But then coming with that, you always think trophies, you know what I mean? So that's the only thing it's let him down in his time, that he's not picked up much silverware.
But they were also playing in better teams, weren't they?
Of course they were, aye. And listen, Tav, I get, I mean, we can always say he's no great at defending and this and that. I get that. Listen, I get that he wasn't that solid right back that probably didn't leak a lot of goals, didn't get caught out at the back post very often, or maybe once every now and again, where we've seen it repeated at times and players running off him. But what he did going forward, free kicks, some of the goals he scored in some of the games have been unbelievable. But it's about personal accolades as we're talking about, but he's always been turning up every single week, and if Rangers offer him a testimonial, I'd like to think that Ibrox would be full to give him the support for his longevity of being at the club.
Okay. Right, Mr. Stevie Boy, yeah? If Tav does get his testimonial, yeah, I think he becomes one of 14, yeah?
14?
Yeah. You want to have a go?
Right.
The guys that have testimonials, yeah?
Right, okay. Right, can I go first?
Yes, I mean, you're the only one that's gone, because me and Southside know the answers.
Right, so we're getting back. I'm going to go for, what about Tom Forsyth?
Oh, some shout. I'm going to tell you something. Us two never got that one. South side, am I right?
Oh, we're talking about it briefly, we were running through it.
Aye.
No, but I was at it. I should have got it, but we were running through it briefly, like
I
trying to
love
remember.
Big Tam as well. Yep. You need to go back a wee bit further for the first one, Stevie, or the first two.
Right, I'll just give you what I know right now.
Right, okay, all right, we'll do that.
Sandy Jardine.
No, mate.
No. Oof. Colin Jackson.
Well done, mate.
Davy Cooper.
Yep.
Super Sally.
Yep.
Who else? The Brian Laudrup, aye.
No.
No.
Yeah, mate.
Oh, no. Right, it's Walter.
Yes.
Right. Who else? John Gregg.
Well done, Stevie boy. He was the first one. First one ever, huh? Remarkable, really. 1978. 16th to the 4th, 1978.
Man, that'd have been 5.
No way.
Well, but he
South
dives
Street.
to the left, he dives to the right.
Mr. McGregor. What other keepers? Other keeper in there?
No.
No.
And if you think about it, Big Guy Smeater done another 10 year, didn't he? You know, but no.
Aye.
You know.
Right. What so far? Have you been writing these down?
No, but Fox has.
You want Alan McLaren flung in there for a benefit game?
Will we throw him Scott Nisbet, will we?
Big Nizzy. Fernando.
Aye. Just can't hang off it out in my head. Imagine me getting Tom Forsyth and all the guys, Colin Jackson. I can't get them. I don't want.
And Tim Forsyth one, I think, if I remember, I think that was against Swansea. Or was it Everton? Was it Swansea, was it?
Aye. 3, I think.
Davy Cooper, eh?
Davy Cooper. Do you remember that? The new strip, mate? I don't know if it was Umbro, I need to remember that. I think it was Umbro. We came out with the strip, the Monaco strip with the red and white new away strip. The design that they played with that night was rang. Aye. Billy Mackay, you wouldn't get that one, I don't think, Steve.
No. Any other shockers?
If you said McCoy's, who was his partner in crime? Arthur Park.
Yeah. Arthur Park, Durante.
Mm-hmm. There you go. How did you manage to get him?
Sheffield Wednesday, wasn't it?
Sheffield. What about Ted McMahon?
Oh, well, we went there. We went there, didn't we? You know the story about that one. You know the story of that one. There's one man you've really got to get. You mentioned Goff. I think somebody was a big partner of his, mate.
Butcher?
No.
Oh. Partner of Goff.
Played in midfield.
Came for Dundee.
Brown.
Yes.
No, St Mirren.
Oh, Dundee.
Palmer Brown. No, Cammy Fraser.
Oh.
He came to Dundee.
John Brown was signed for Dundee, yeah?
Aye,
And one there you've got to get, mate.
Aye, he's a...
He stays right next to Parkhead.
Ian Ferguson.
How did you get that? That's remarkable, Southside, isn't it?
Aye, I did say for Paisley, did I know? You said Dundee.
Aye, I was talking about Bomber Brown.
Oh, were you right?
I was playing all the right notes and you were playing them in the wrong order. Aye, so listen, anybody gets a testimonial, you're in. It's not happened that often, really, is it? You know, and look, I'm in the Southside camp. I don't know what you think, Stevie. I mean, I think he deserves one. And I'm hearing whispers that the opposition could be Leeds United. Don't know how that would come about, do you?
I thought you were going to say the San Francisco 49ers.
He supported Leeds as that's his team, isn't it?
Aye. But obviously there's tie-ups now, isn't there?
Aye, of course. Aye, but boys.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, the guy does deserve it. There's no two ways about it. He deserves it for his longevity, his value for money, his numbers. And let's remember,
Southside.
and he never.
Aye. Well, interesting. You see if the club do it or no. I've been told that they might be considering it and whatnot. It's resurfaced again, so we'll see. Unless you get some, because usually you used to get your testimonial season, didn't you? And your testimonial dinners all the way through it. You've done events, you'd things on all year. That you would have.
It's different. The tax laws have all changed.
Aye,
There's
true.
a lot of differences in the testimonials now. You know.
But we'll see. It was just something that was
Testimonial,
muted.
no.
Oh, is it just me or Stevie breaking up? Is he breaking up for you as well, Southside?
Aye, breaking up a bit.
I'm saying, as a testimonial, no for the player to choose a charity, and he gives the charity that the money.
It used to be that you got the money tax free and that, Stevie. It was a sort of golden handshake, yeah.
Aye.
You know, but things have changed. You know, I don't know the exact tax. I don't know the exact. Used to must be due a testimonial on here.
I'm alright anyway. I don't know.
Oh, thanks. Aye, I'll probably get a few years yet.
I see testimonial, no custodial. Make sure you heard that right, yeah?
Aye. But listen,
So he's got a chance of one of them coming in.
It's only Wednesday, mate.
Listen,
don't get caught out on a holiday.
What's going on here?
Your sound's not the best. Sort your phone out and we'll be right back to you. Aye, Southside, anybody wants to phone up and has different views. First of all, own testimonials and you think they're a thing in the past. That's a whole different debate. But if you don't think James Tavernier is entitled to one, come and give your views and say your piece, because it'll be interesting to say, you know, but get it, he's been involved in some tremendous moments, but he's had some negative moments in his career as well, you know. But so did John Gregg.
I was going to say that. A lot of the players had in different moments. No, but John Gregg had, for the period of time he was at the club and what he endured as well as a player. But no, I just think 10 years at the one club, you're not going to be perfect every season. You'll have had good moments and bad moments and that. We get all that, but I think he's hardly ever been out injured. He's always played. He's been a regular. He's had 10 years at the club, and if he does another year, it'll be 11, I think. And I think if it's in the pipeline, then I think the club should probably give him it. It's what we used to do as a club when you go to that thing, or if you were out injured, like we've done before for players like we've spoke about, go benefit games and stuff. Scott Nisbet was another one. So I just think if he does it and he puts it to charities and stuff, then it's done, and it's a fitting way to give him that send off. I think that's us now. I think Oxygen, you Pierre is all right. I think we're all right.
Back with us, mate. Yes. Stevie, if you can drop it, and Southside, obviously, hopefully you've read that message. Listen, mate, I think he's entitled to a due one. And I think on the best of him. It might be time to shake hands, and he might be, if we get some money in for him and he gets a career, so elsewhere he'll go with my best wishes. And I've nothing but praise the way that he's conducted himself. Yeah, he's frustrated me like every Rangers supporter when there's some of the errors he's made, but he's gave us some great moments as well. You know, and I think back to what was the goal against Galatasaray. Ibrox, that move, and you think back, and he's come in and he did that ball in. I know it was a way back when we played. Who did we play?
I'm sure he scored one. Was it Peterhead?
Peterhead, and that goal, that volley, mate.
Aye,
what a goal!
that volley, I know.
It doesn't matter the opposition, mate. It was some strike, you know.
Goal at Tannadice and all. Free kick off the underside. He's scored a peach at St Johnstone and all.
The back post against Leipzig, mate. The first few minutes set the tone, didn't he?
That's when he had that. He was always bombing forward at that time when he was getting into the box, arriving late and finishing. Because I think he said he used to have ambitions of playing as striker at one point. But no, I just think that he's been here 10 years, grown 11 years, possibly. And I just think if they offer him it, fine. It's like things we used to do as a club, and I think going forward you'll not see many players that'll be at Rangers going forward for that length of time in the future. It'll be hard for. You'll get one in time maybe, but on the whole I don't think you'll see it for a long time, if so ever again.
You back with us, Stevie?
Yes, Mark, can you hear me okay?
Loud and proud, mate. Loud and proud.
Yes. And if the boy does have a testimonial, Ibrox will be chalkers. And I'll be there. I'll be there, and I've been one of his critics. But we've been in a journey together, haven't we? And that's how you look at it. Yeah, we've had our ups and downs. Tab's been there. He's a good pro. He's represented Rangers to the best of his ability off the field for me. And I just think whatever they're looking, I'll be pining and gone anyway.
I don't want you taking this badly or reading too much into it. But Fox knows a good pro when he sees one.
Especially when we play Ajax.
Dear, it's used to. He knows a good. He said it right at the start. I remember the game against Hibs 6-2. Yeah, and he picked up the right away. He said, "This boy's got some." It was the shape and his athleticism at the time. Yeah, he's slowed down half a year. We know that. We get that. He's now heading towards mid-30s when he was only heading towards mid-20s. There's a difference, you know. But aye, all the best. And hopefully it happens. And it's a support like it, and it's a glamour tie, and we go and if there's a charity involved, they make loads of money. It's not like Southside.
Aye, if you put it to charities and stuff, you then hope that get a good turnout. And if it was Leeds, because that's the team he supported, I'm sure it'd be a good pre-season game for the start of the season. Playing Leeds United, I'm sure they'd bring a fair squad up the road to Ibrox. So aye, it'd be a good game, a good atmosphere. If it happens, that is, and the testimonial was granted, but we'll see in time.
Yes, all right. Come and join us, give your thoughts. 0141 356 1972. Any thoughts? All the stories seem to be off the pitch. We've got a game coming up at Love Street Saturday morning. I think you'll find that I think it's the 15th early kick-off of the season, Southside. 15th.
No, it'll be no 3 o'clock.
All right,
I think
3 o'clock at Love Street, is it? I just assumed it was another early kick-off.
Otherwise, I need to do a lot of different planning here, but no, I'm sure.
I thought it was 3.
I'm sure it's 3 o'clock.
I'm starting corrected, mate. Yeah.
Yeah.
Aye. Note that down, Stevie, will you?
Yes, it's 3
Next time you
o'clock.
ask when was your angle, say 1984.
It's 86, he always says, 86.
Oh, I'm not taking that one. That was Fox that sent me that. I'm not taking that one.
There you go. It's never happened.
Oh, sounds like a hangme. A Connor Golson moment, that one.
Of course.
I'm not taking the blame for that. I'll point my finger at somebody else.
Come on, I just want to make sure. I see what he's done there. I see what he's done. I've misread him here. I misread it. 3 out of the 5 games are early kick-offs in the split, which takes us up to 15. Sorry, I misread it. So I'll take partial blame. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
So we then, we're going there on Saturday. And listen, I'll be a dead rudder. It's a game. We want to go and win at Southside, yeah. We want to see the boy Curtis. Yeah, we want to see other people. Liam Kelly, is he making a stake to be pushing for the number 1? Yeah. You know what I mean? Consistency. Because he's not been really the fault for any of the goals, is he? That, away to Fenerbahce there, yeah? Sorry, away to Bilbao. You couldn't say well.
No, he's done well.
Aye.
He's done all right.
Yeah, but people have got. I mean they're playing for their futures, but there's professional pride. They owe the support every game.
Well, it's about standards at the club. That's what it's supposed to be. You're representing Rangers. Aye, Sidney Rubber, as Albert will tell me, as we had a debate today and all that, meaningless game and all that. But you're representing Rangers Football Club here. And I don't fancy having St Mirren on this year beating us 3 times. So no, we're going to Langhere on Saturday. We're going to watch Rangers, and we're hoping and expecting them to win. And I'd hope to see a good few changes. And I don't mind seeing the young boys. I'd like to see Bailey Rice get a game. I'd like to see Finlay Curtis get somewhere in the team. I'd like to see Cortez back playing as well. Get Danilo playing up front. And Enciala in the team and all. And then you can pick round about that. And let's see what they've got. But it's about winning, and it might be a bit disjointed because they'll not have played together like as a team unit. But I'm still expecting them to go out and try, and expect to try and get a win. And at the end of the day, we're turning up to go and support the team in a meaningless game. But at the end of the day, you're representing the club, and no matter if you've had a shit show of a season this year, you still have standards, and the standards are that you go there, you put on a performance, and you win in a blue jersey, and that's what I expect them to do on Saturday, regardless of season's over or not.
Yeah.
I think with the standards you meant we've had a really bad season this year. When you go, Stevie?
Sorry, Ops.
I think with the standards, what you meant is we've had a really bad season this year.
Aye. It's been there's a lot of standards dropped lately. But apart from that, listen, you're still representing the club here.
Aye.
We're not going out here just to turn up and get turned over 5 times. That's not what we expect to happen. The inconsistency in the squad, we know, like, what about St Mirren? If we don't turn up and they beat us, that same took 9 points off us this season. When was the last time St Mirren took 9 points off a Rangers team in a league campaign?
Never.
Exactly, never. No, that's so. And it might. People go, well, does it matter because the league's done, it's about next year? Maybe so, but we're paying our money to go there and watch the team, and I want an effort, an application, and I hope he makes some changes, and maybe if he freshens it up, these personnel might come in and make a bit of a difference. I want to get a few of them get game time and see if we can bring them forward with a new squad going forward next season. We know what our players can do, so I'm not too fussed, but I'd like to see, even if he brought in Paul Miso as well for the B team, for the reserves. It's been about the first team, not been in since that European game, but even giving him a game in midfield as well, take Connor Barron out if you want, it wouldn't really matter. He's a young boy, he's 18, he's done well in the B team, and it's about trying to progress these players into the first team. So why not let him go in sample Ops?
Last word, Stevie, before we have a tune.
No, I was just saying there, I'll bring my flip with me on Saturday and we'll get that Rangers in going. Don't worry about that. I agree with my wingman. We're paying our money. We want to see the Rangers win no matter what pundits or whatever's out there saying, okay, it's a nothing match and all that. The Rangers end will be full no matter what. We want to see a performance. Send a story. Come on, the Glasgow Rangers.
What tune are we getting tonight, boys?
Don't know. I'm sure it'll be the techie team's choice.
All right. Get yourself in mute, because we're going to have a tune.
I'd been in exile for some years and my eyes filled up with tears when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. So I took a trip along just to hear some famous songs when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. I stood there all alone while the boys all down from home sang of Rangers, that team of great renown. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now on the field below, the boys put on a show, the likes they'd never seen at Molyneux. And it's football, it was grand, from Macmillan, Scott and Brand, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now the league flag must come nearer with men like Bobby Shearer, the way he played at Wolverhampton town. And the world forever after would sing of Jimmy Baxter, for on his head they placed that noble crown. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. Now I knew it had to happen, I heard a mighty roar, the famous Glasgow Rangers they had scored. And the sky was white and blue, Wolverhampton shook right through, the loyal rampant Rangers had come through. There's not a team like the Glasgow Rangers, one of the famous songs they sung. And a sight I'd never seen when they sang God Save the Queen, when the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town. When the Rangers came to Wolverhampton town.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972? It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
We're back, gentlemen.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, I must admit, one of my favourites, mate. Love it.
Yeah, it's a good wee tune.
Yep.
Anyway, listen, we'll see what it takes us with who the team is. And I get that people will be happy to see the back of this season. Yeah, it's been strange. It showed promise for moments. And it's all just at times just petered out, and sometimes we've shot ourselves in the foot, and sometimes we've had decisions went against us, maybe even last Thursday. I know I accept Albert, and I think you're similar, Southside, that they never laid a glove on them, but however, there was moments and decisions that you could put an argument in it, could change football games, and we've maybe just know that bit of luck, Steve, here, at times.
At times, you could probably mention we've had a couple of dubious decisions against us in games and stuff like that, but most of it's for rain day knocks. Most of it's for rain day. I mean, we're up for all the big games and then we go and we fling it away against the crap. I've said it at the start of the show. It's a mentality thing. I mean, to lose to teams, no. Let's be honest, we're talking about St Mirren there. Every department we've got better players. So how can they possibly get out there to beat us 3 times in the one season? It's a mentality thing. It's about getting out there and getting the job done. Well, just no done it. We've walked onto parts, think we're going to just beat teams, and that's the wrong attitude. And part of that could be down to your manager and all at the time. So we just know they can move the goalpost to suit whether it was the manager's tactics or whether it was the player's attitude. As a team, they got it wrong. They got it wrong, and you can't paper all the cracks. But we're woeful this season, but we're up for the big games, and you've got to be consistent to win league championships. It's as plain and simple as that.
Southside, can't really argue.
No, we know what the deficiencies of late this season, and the games that you're expecting and should be winning and doing better, and games that will be not heating games, and we've come back and got a draw at it. We've been behind in games too many times, and we've never really put on a 90-minute performance in a lot of the games throughout the season. And as Barry said, the same problems, trying to sort it out. But you will get inconsistencies with players because they're in an environment that they're not used to being. A draw is no good enough. It's a win-win-win, and that's the way it's got to be drummed into you. And probably the only good thing is now that we've got people in the door at the moment that knows what that's about, knowing how to win and have been on the receiving end of losing, but know what it is to play for the club. And all the players that will be left there that have got a future at the club should all take that on board and hopefully carry that mentality forward. But that'll only come in time, whether they do or they don't. But they'll just let themselves down in a lot of the games against the mediocre teams that we should be beating. And it's a sad fact that St Mirren could turn you over 3 times in a one season, and that's just not acceptable in any way, shape or form.
Aye, I don't disagree, mate. I don't disagree. We have shot myself in the foot a lot, mate. You know, self-inflicted wounds, you know, and games we should have won and pressure we put on myself. And, well, you know, and some of the performances have been, if we're really honest, some of them have been pathetic. And then the other times I've come out and they've played well, and you think that's the frustrations come for Stevie, innit? Southside.
Aye, that's what annoys you more than anything, that they don't start well in games, or they're struggling players. You can accept players maybe being out injured in certain games throughout the season, players pick up injuries, but collectively, like I said before, when we're off it, there's not really many players on the park you can turn around and say, well, he was decent the first half, at least he tried to show something, or he was getting on the ball and trying to make something happen. They're all miles off it at the one time, Ox, and that seems to be the problem. And we shoot ourselves in the foot. I mean, Easter Road, we're 2-0 up after 30 minutes, and yet we let them back into the game, and we end up going away for there with a 3 each draw. You know, the games like that, 2-0 down to Motherwell in the first half, not acceptable. And even the last time at St Mirren, all right, we're pushing forward to try and get a winner, but we get undone again, which our luck and the way we've had this season, you half expect it can happen, and it did. And we get mugged coming out of St Mirren the last time. And other games, like we said, Dundee and all that, it's just not been good enough. But hopefully it'll get rectified when we can get better, maybe standard of players in as well, to help bolster the squad, because it needed help. In Europe, they've excelled to get to where we got to in Europe. They've done well in that, but at the end of the day, we're back to changing the manager again. We're having to go again, and we're having to more or less get rid of a lot of players out the door, which we hope a lot will move on, and maybe Lansdowne in England. The only one I think will get back is Matondo. I think he's coming back. I just can't maybe free him off and see if we could pay him off. Because I just think he'll end up coming back.
Let's see, 3 years, isn't it? A 4-year deal, mate. That'd be 3 or 4 years.
Aye, you might think he could just sit for another season on his decent money.
Aye. I don't know. I've not even followed how he's doing, mate, if I'm honest. Yeah.
No, I haven't. He obviously scored in his debut, didn't he? And they were all raving about it, and then I think he was injured. And then I think he might have come back.
A surprise.
But I think he did go injured, but I don't know if he's back. Possibly is, but I just got a feeling they'll probably not take up that option, and maybe if he continues, I don't know how many games they've got left, but maybe somebody might want him. But otherwise, I think he'll come back at the start of next season anyway.
Cervantes?
I think he'll find somewhere, and I think we should try and offload him for whatever the fee will be. If we could get $2 million back them if they're haggling or whatever we're looking for, but surely about £1.5–2 million you should be able to offload him.
And then you've got Bill and Big Ben Davis, yeah?
I think probably they've done all right. They seem to be raving about them, so maybe Birmingham might want to keep them for another go at the first division they get into.
Championship, right?
In the championship. So they might want him, and if they don't, maybe somebody else in England might have shown interest to them, you know. And Tom Lawrence out the door, end of the season, Hadji out the door, end of the season.
Stevie, you back with us?
I am having a few technical issues. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can now, mate. Yes. Yeah, they Nokias can be quite evil at times, Southside, can't they?
Especially the size of odds he's got.
Yeah. But it's been rumoured, and it's only speculation that young Bailey Rice, it looks as if he's going to extend their contract. And by the way, it was a bit of a compliment that the coaching staff, rightly or wrongly, to play him in that first leg at Ibrox, to give him that responsibility. They obviously see something in the boy, so we hopefully he can progress. He's got the physicality. We know he can pass the ball. He's just got to be aware of what, in my opinion, Southside first and Stevie, that doesn't, when you're in that position, you need to be switched on to what's happening after the ball, and that comes with experience, doesn't it? Southside.
He's playing miles a level above what he's been playing at and what he's used to. And Barry did say he's still a bit raw and all that, but he obviously sees that confidence in him, and he is a player, and he can pass the ball. He's a good variety of passing and vision, and it's just about him just trying to get in the team and impress, and hopefully he'll get a run at the end of the season. Just about every week I would like to think we could put him in the team if he's fit, and I'd like to see that box, and then you maybe see him develop. It's all about getting game time and getting the experience, and he's young, and we're proposing to put a contract in front of him, and I think there's a few clubs looking at him, but hopefully he'll want to pledge his future to Rangers.
Yeah.
Stevie?
Aye, listen, if I'm Bailey Rice, I'd be looking at McCausland's situation, right, and saying, he got a run in the team, he never cracked on, I'm going to make sure I do it different. That's what I'd be saying if I was that young boy. Because I'll tell you what's happened to the boy McCausland? He got in, he looked fit, he looked fresh, he looked, oh, this boy's looking good, he's got a bit of heart, he's shown us, and then, no, every time he got another chance, he never ever made an impact coming off a bench. The young boy Bailey Rice has got to look at that situation and say, I know what I've got to do here. Surely he's going to grasp it every time he gets a chance. He's going to go in there and grasp it. He's seen what McCausland's done. He's seen the boo-boos. He's seen what the boy done. He never cracked on. And I'm telling you, Bailey Rice has got a chance here to come in and really show what he can do this season coming. If he's going to sign that contract, then he's got time in his hands. But when he gets his chances, he's got to come on there and take it.
Aye. Do you want my take on McCausland, Stevie?
I would like to hear it, aye, because my take on him is I'm disappointed in the boy, especially him being a wee Ulster man too, because he knows what it's about, you know.
I don't think there's any doubt in that, mate. And I think he's a lovely young man. I just think he's got a confidence issue. And I think it's gone. And he actually needs a move, mate. A change of environment to get his career back on path, in my opinion. I just don't think it's going to work for him. And he might even been trying too hard. Yeah, because he's overthinking things. And football's got to come the instinct and for the heart, mate. I get it that Southside will tell me he's not on outside right, but what I've seen, he's not going to play number 10 nearer at this level. So he's had to go. But I think his confidence, I think it's as simple as that. And he's just gone. He's just gone, and it's quite sad for the young man, no?
He comes on, he comes on and he scores a goal against Malmo. What more today? Well, I mean, you come on and you get that goal and you play brilliant in that game. How can you not crack on for that? Surely that gives you confidence. While I come on the other night and I get the second goal, we win 2-0, and I got a cracking second goal. How can you not crack on for that?
I think he started the next game, mate, and then he was out the team.
You can never try too hard, Docs. I know you says you're
not overthinking it and that, yeah.
Aye, overthinking it, aye. But listen, I just think the boy's had chance. He's come on umpteen games, and you thought, wow, he come on and he done nothing. Nothing. Absolutely hee-haw. Can't he tackle a fist up, I don't know. Can't he do the that side of the game? Surely as an Ulster man, you're a Glasgow Rangers man. You know how to tackle somebody. Come on, run back. He's got pace, tackle, do the dart arts.
That's one of his problems, mate. Southside, he's not got a lot of pace, is he?
See when he played in the middle of the park, he did look quite quick because he had low sense and he could turn left or right. He liked to go and play 1-2s and he just burst in. And to be honest, when I watched him as a young boy coming through, I just thought, you're about as close to seeing somebody coming from midfield and arriving in the box. It was like watching Ian Durant, you know, at the time, because he was playing in that central position in midfield. To break in, we stuck him out on the right, and he done well. I think it's like any young boy when he comes in for the academy and stuff. If a team's not playing well in the first half, it's easy to take the boy off. I think his confidence has been a wee bit. I think he's been out that long because Czerny, I mean, let's be honest, there's no many players in our squad that's going to get in before him at the moment. He's been playing so well, and then when he comes on, people are thinking, well, let's see what he can do. And to be honest, he's always had to come inside. He's never been to the byline and tried to whip the ball across because Clermont didn't want him doing that. He wanted him to come inside. I just think his confidence is shot a bit. I don't believe that you need to sack him out the road. I believe that he could give another look at it again next season under a new manager, and he could become a squad player that maybe when he does come into the game and from time to time he does a decent job. At the moment, his confidence has gone by the looks of the young boy. But the boy's got talent. I believe if he does leave and he does go into his true position and anywhere else and plays, I think you'll see that he's a different player and he's in the middle of the park than he is out in the wing. You've got more options when he's on the ball and stuff like that for the middle of the park, but I understand that he's not going to get that chance in there. But if he does, and when he does get in the middle of the park, you see he scores. He done it against Hearts at Tynecastle a few years back when we played all the boys. He played about 5 or 6 that day and he scored. He came on and he threatened. He scored at Tynecastle. He set a goal up from middle of the park. He came inside against Malmo. I think he said scored that goal into the corner or Betis. I can't remember what one it was. But listen, he's shot the now. He's been out the team that long. He's not had many chances, and it just looks like he's people are saying, well, maybe need to get rid of him, but it'll be up to the new manager come the start of next season whether he can get something out of him or he becomes a squad player. I mean, we're bringing in Lyle Cameron, who's similar stature, who's only played more games because he's at Dundee. Frost McCausland had been at any other club. You look at Lennon Miller, we've took Bailey Rice, and Lennon Miller's played 50, 60 games or something for Motherwell since he left and came to us, and we're trying to now say, give this boy game time, because we don't give them game time. So when they're bad, they're just flung away and discarded, whereas other teams will persevere with them and they'll play maybe a bad game here and there, but on the whole, you're trying to give them game time and experience, and at Rangers, you don't get that at this level. You need to be good or above good all the time. But we'll see where it goes. He signed a contract and he doesn't want to go to the park and play bad day, does he? He's a boy knows, he knows what it's about. All the boys in that academy are all boy noses. They're all desperate to play. Same with Robbie Fraser, same with Cole McKinnon, went out and loan, Bailey Rice, a lot of them, Finlay Curtis. So they're all there. And they're all willing to give their all, but like I said, he's been miles off it for a while because he's been out since that injury, and he's probably lacking a bit of confidence, but he's certainly not a right-sided winger. In no way is he a right-sided winger. So should he leave Rangers, hopefully he'll go and play in his true position at another club, and then you'll maybe see a difference, and maybe people will say, oh, here, there's Ross McCausland again. That'll be because we never gave him a chance in the position where we brought him through as a boy, and where he played and where he showed what he was decent at that level. And we've stuck him out in the wing to give him game time, which isn't where he should be, but it is what it is, and you should be glad to go on the park at Glasgow Rangers like they all say when they go on the park and they don't get to play in their position. But at the moment, he's miles off it for what we're looking for at the moment. But it doesn't mean to say that we have to get rid of him. He could come good under a new manager next year.
I tell you what, you're a very nice guy. Very nice guy. I want the boy to do well, and I don't think there's any room for sentiment. And if somebody comes in, he'll not be on big wages, Ross. Wish him all the best, shake hands, because all of a sudden you've got another one, but next year who's only got a year left his contract. And it's not going to be a fit, mate. It's time to just move on. It's just time to move on, mate, for both parties. I think Stevie. I think Bob Jair's joined us, Stevie. I'll come right back to you. Evening, Bob Jair. No, Stevie, carry on, mate.
No, listen, look, I'll be disappointed if Ross McCausland's still in our squad next season. As you said there, no time for sentiment. I think he's had his chance, and I don't think it's going to work for him. I really don't. And as you're probably saying, to protect the Boyocks, it's probably better for both parties if he does move on. I'm not saying he's a bad player, but I mean, there's things there, like Aberdeen there. He's on a yellow card and he dives into that. I mean, come on. I mean, he knows how to play football. Is he going to wake up? You know what I mean? I just think the boy's had his chance. He's had his day. He's had some good nights, but my God, there's been times where he's just been a passenger, total and utter passenger. Southside might be right, arguing the point, the fact that he's not getting played in his right position, but he's never going to get played there. Never ever going to get played there. I just think the boys had it's time to move on. He needs to start winning silver there. And guys like Ross McCausland, who's had his chance, has they done it? We need to just cut ties and just get rid of him and go and get people out there that's going to do the business. It's going to at least fight for the jersey. Because that boy doesn't it? That boy does.
But he was playing. He came into the team when we were struggling badly, and he was a breath of fresh air. It's a big ask to put a boy for the academy to go and carry your team week in, week out. They're always going to dip and for him. Well, you're saying that he should be good every week, but they're not going to be because he was getting exposed to men's football here. He came out 2 years before it out the Lowland League.
But he's also got 23. He's not 16, mate.
I know, but that's down to us for when we're trying to get him into the team. But we're talking about trying to rebuild a squad and a team they know. So why do you want to just fling him out the door? Because people just think because he's not kicked on the now that he's going to be like that next season. He might not be. And under a new manager with a structure and a style of play, he might not get a starter every week. I get that. but he might be a player that will come on, and he might actually come on and play maybe into his true position. Maybe if the manager actually goes, "No, what, you're definitely not a winger, wee man." I mean, who's not to say he can't come back and be a first team squad player? No, so do you think Conor Barron should get the door? Because if we're quite close to £1 million if he gets so many appearances now, or we had to pay a minimum of 650 upwards.
Are you asking me that question straight off?
Well, that's what we're saying. I'll ask it because we've paid a fee for him, right? He's got more experience and more game time. And yet,
if somebody came in and offered money for Conor Barron just now, I'd snap your hand off for it, mate.
Yep.
So you're not prepared to give him a chance to develop under new manager and stuff and a new squad going forward, because you need to have a sort of core of Scottish players that know what it's about that will come in. You need a water carrier in your team sometimes, no? A player like that, it's not all going to be prima donnas. We're not going to sign all these players.
You need to build a team. You need to get people
and it
on.
takes all aspects of that job to build a team. So would Ross McCausland and Conor Barron then no become decent squad players that might come in and might be better, might be the guy who wins the ball and just gives it to players like Hurlock used to do, just who was still win the ball and just give it to Mark Walters, he'll go and do something. No, we're just saying you get rid of them. So there's two you're willing to fling out the door now then, aren't you?
What I said was if somebody came in and offered money for Conor Barron, I'd snap your hand off. Yeah. Yeah, it's Stevie.
Oh no, I'm willing to get rid of him. I'm definitely. I'm willing to get rid of any of the two. I would see the backside. Well, I'm hoping the new manager comes in and he's there and then the plans. 100%. I'm not saying every young boy that's coming through, just trying them, and if they don't do it.
Well, by the way, their spaces get to Curtis and Bailey Rice, mate.
Well, there you go. But listen, is Eggman, what age is Eggman? 21?
21.
Is he playing his right position? No, but he contributes. He scores winning goals, wins you games. He scored 13 goals. How many is McCausland getting? How many is McCausland? You know, that's the difference. You're talking about young boys. I mean, Eggman's 2 years younger than McCausland. He's contributing. Maybe not as much as what we want, but he's contributing. McCausland's no. Wants to have every flash in the pan. That's
Bob, give a ring back and we'll sort you out to get you on. Just ring the show back, mate. Carry on, Stevie.
That's what I'm saying. You know, I just feel as if McCausland's coming on and he's not contributing. And then you can argue the point that McCausland's a young boy, but so is Eggman. And he's not playing his right position either. And he's contributing. He's scoring winning goals. He's scored many goals this season, but he's contributing. Assists. Contributing. He's showing you flashes of skill. I'm not seeing that from McCausland. He's a lot younger than us.
Well, if you maybe stick him into his true position and give him a run of games, because we've paid $4.3 million for Bizrami, paying him a lot more money and he's not contributing.
Are you asking me a question?
I know you're going to say I know, but that's what I'm saying. I know, but see, it's all right saying I just get rid of him, just do that because he's not contributing, but...
So, what do you get rid of? This team
what's that?
Nothing this season, right? This pool of players have they won nothing this season. So who would you want to get rid of? Who would you then get rid of? If you're going to keep McCausland, you're going to keep the wee guy for Aberdeen was signed. Who would you get rid of then? Because you know,
I think they two become squad players at the moment, right? I don't think they're the main necessity. You need to fling out the door. I think there's a lot more players in that squad as we talked about earlier.
Maybe you just mentioned one. Who's on more money than they two put together, mate.
Aye, Bizrami, aye. And Bizrami has got a talent, right? He's a talent. He's obviously he's a decent player, but he's not been cutting it week in, week out. He's had a lot of many bad performances. He's been on the bench. He's not done much. The many goals as Bizrami scored this year for us at $4.3 million. So you can look at it that way, you know. And what we're saying is, but Ross isn't good because he's on the wing and this and that. But we'll go and stick him in the number 10 position and give him a wee run of games. And I'll tell you what, I bet he'd be more influential in there than he is out in the right wing. But it will not happen. But all I'm saying is, Ross McCausland probably will move on in time because but I just don't think he's a necessity right now. I think he'll probably do pre-season, and the manager might get a tune out of him or Conor Barron going forward at something. We don't know. Just because they've no kicked on, Conor Barron looked out his depth last week, right? But the team was all over the place in that once he moved Diamond out to left back. That just totally killed the whole midfield, So I'm not saying he will be there, he'll not be there, but I think they two alone aren't the main problem. I think they could be there as squad players. They don't cost a lot of money. But we're quite close to probably when it comes to appearances for Conor Barron for what Aberdeen were wanting. And I think what was agreed was close, say for argument's sake, it's close to £800,000. No, 800 grand for an out-of-contract player. That's what we've been more or less told to hang if he plays for Scotland and whatever else. There's add-ons to that. But you're not willing to give McCausland a chance just because he's no kicked on, but he's not in his true position. But that's my only defence for him, apart from I think he's lost confidence as well. And he doesn't look the same sort of player as he did when I was watching him playing in his true position coming through.
Southside, listen, I'm not disagreeing with most of the stuff you're saying. You'll always put a fight up for any player that me and Ox mention or anybody mentions. You'll always try and see the plus side of their game and try and talk and help them, and that's what you do, mate, right? See that Rangers team, they won nothing this season, mate, so they're all open season. Any one of them could go as far as I'm concerned. There's ones that I will keep, no problem. I mean, Raskin, guys like that, right, you're going to keep your team all day long, but let's be honest, none of them deserve to be there. They went through that season and won nothing, mate. We can't keep holding on to a glimmer of hope that they might come good. That's my problem, Southside. They might not come good as well.
We've bought a lot of players early years, Stevie, that haven't came good, innit?
You mentioned one there. You mentioned that boy Bajrami. How does he even get a blue jersey to pull out his head? He's a heartless coward. He's a proper walloper. That's how I see him. He's never going to do. Never going to do. He's not a ball winner. He's no hard. We need tough Rangers players that can play the game sensibly and know the dark arts. But my defence is like a tease trainer. We're losing goals left, right and centre. There's big problems. We've got big problems. And that's the truth of the matter. But we need to stop this, or he might come good. This guy might come good. They got their chance. They're no good enough, and that's it. You had your chance. How long do you want it with Glasgow Rangers? You've got to hit the ground running. Let's be honest. One game in every three is no good enough for Glasgow Rangers. It's 3 games out of 3 you've got to play well.
Well, I'll just say, took Raskin a while to kick on. I know he got injured and that, but he wasn't always good. Diamondi's been the same in many league games. He's been decent in Europe, but in league games he's been pretty poor in a lot of them at times. But we paid money for these guys and we're willing to persevere with it, but we're not willing to give some young boys a chance. It's like sticking Bailey Rice. Tell Bailey Rice, no, today you're not playing in centre midfield, you'll go out and play left wing. Do you think Bailey Rice would play good every week at left wing?
No, but I tell you,
that's what I'm trying to say.
But what you've got to do is you've got to make it so everybody wants to see you in your natural position. Stevie mentioned, man, a lot of people want to see him just as a number 9 and no play the outside left. Yeah.
Because he's not shown enough at outside left, is he? Really? And I agree with Albert. We've probably played him out of form because he's a striker, but you learn to play, and like I say, Ross should be able to probably go out and play in the right to a point, and Bailey should be able to go out and play in the left, like just as we're talking about, right? And you're saying Ignaman should be able to play just after the striker. He's young, he should learn to adapt positions and all that. I get all that, but he hasn't looked comfortable slightly on the left with Dessers through the middle. No, and we've persevered in this number 10 position umpteen times, and nobody seems to be able to go in there and play with any consistency. I mean, I suggest one boy who's played there all the way through our youth team, why not just try him out, Steve Rubbers every week? Just go and give him a game in there. Let's see if he'll do something different. Let's see if he's a different player. He'll not do it. I know he'll not do it, but why would you know? Because we're slaughtering the boy, saying he's this, he's that, he's lost confidence, he's not get good enough, he's no skillful, he's no this. But he's not playing his right position.
There's no chance of him playing there on Saturday, is there? No chance.
No chance.
He's suspended.
Aye, and that was brainless. And most people round about us were standing there at Aberdeen were saying that'll be his last game for Rangers. That's what people were saying at Aberdeen. But that's stupid second tackle. Absolute for the back. The boy was in front of him and he dived in. How many people round about us were going, that's McCausland's last game for Rangers. That was for no use of his head. That was nothing to do with his football ability. That's what I'm talking about. Daft things like that. You play football for your... When is he going to learn? When's he going to start tackling? When's he going to start fighting? There's a million different categories you can go in with the boy. I just can't see it in him. I'm sorry. I can't see it in him. And where we are right now, we need to start winning again. And I don't want to get down the line of, well, it might be better if we play him in his right position. He's never going to get into that, playing in that right position. Look,
right to the play as always. Yeah. Bob, J, ring him back, mate. We'll bring you in, mate. Ring us back.
I get it, right? When they're off-field, right, it's not good enough and there needs to be a lot of changes. And like I say, if somebody comes in and gives us close to what we paid for Bizrami, I would take it. And I would get rid of Dessers. He'll be marketable. I'd try and get another striker. I don't want to keep Ignaman. Obviously, we can't take the whole squad away. You need to have... Some of these players will need to be here next year. We might not get every player we want in the summer. And we might... So we don't know where we're going to be. So you're going to need some players there. We can't... Ideally, okay, we just go, right, no, we do, they're off for sale. Just get rid of them all. And we'll just rebuild. But we can't. We've got to try and win a league next year. We can't go, we play a full team and a new manager and hope that he knows what the Scottish League's about. Hopefully he'll set us up with good style and tactics. We can break down low blocks. And these players that all come in are all just going to learn to play 3 games a week and what it means to play for Rangers and everything that we've been trying to install into this squad. No, and what Barry and Billy Dodds and the rest of them are telling them what it means to play for Rangers, the expectations of the club. So that's all drilled into them, but they've got to take it forward and the new ones come in. So unless they're experienced and they can handle the pressure and handle being at the club, but you've got to win every week. And they might struggle with it. Some players might come in and struggle with the pressure and not be able to do it.
Because if they take over this, not every player we bring in is going to be a success. Can I go back
so maybe a Conor Barron or a McCausland might still be part of your squad. That's all I'm saying. I don't think there's a necessity to get flung out the door now. I think there's a lot more others that can go before them.
More urgent, like centre-halves. What would you do with Proper Southside if it was done to you?
I would try and get rid of him, send him back to Holland. I think
would you give him another season and see if he's settled down and
listen, I think he's all right. I think he's been all right. I think positional sense he's been good. I think in Europe he's been all right. Apart from having that rash tackle, but if Balogun had probably done him first, Balogun wouldn't have to have. But I think he's a comfortable football player, and I've thought about between him and Ben Davis, and because Ben Davis used to sort of get nudged off the ball and he wasn't so strong, and sometimes Proper looked like that, then I think he got it. I think he knows he needs to be a lot stronger, but I just think we need a more dominant sort of centre-back ox. I'd like to try and bring Enciala through. We need to get probably a first-team centre-back, but him pushing and maybe get some game time or whatever, but I think we need to try and bring him through. But we definitely need to. And Suter, I don't know if he'll sign a contract, whether it will still get re-offered. Now we're getting took over and there'll be a new ball game. But I think centre-backs and probably a goalkeeper is where we need to really start. The foundation is going to be a good goalkeeper and then 2 centre-backs. And hopefully Kerry, Enciala and Suter Wiggy probably, if nobody comes in from him, we get rid of him. If he signs, then he's got to push for his place and all. But he knows what the club's about. He's been here a long time, so you've got to rely on some of these players and maybe move them on in time. but you just can't bomb everybody out the door and expect to bring loads in. We've got a league to go for. You need some stability at the club, whether they're going to be there long term or no. They'll need to be there to help fight and come in and try and do a job when called upon. We'll have to. Can't rely on the young boys, because usually bring a young boy into the team when you're doing well and your team's winning. We're bringing young boys in when the team, like you say, we've got nothing left to play for now, so okay, but before that we weren't prepared to fling them in and give them the game because it's too much pressure and we don't do it. We've not done it for long enough as a club. We don't do it very often, fling youngsters in. All our Europe, they're all playing Champions League, Europa Leagues. But and then the league games, I think there's a 16-year-old come on Champions League and all that, you know. You're never going to do that, are we? Try do it in the league.
No, there was a boy come on for somebody who was 15 there. Who was that for? Who did I see?
Is it Juventus?
No, there was
Is
a
it for
boy come on
Juventus?
was it the Premier League? Was it Sheffield United or Burnley or somebody the weekend? I can't remember, mate. Somebody at 15 that come on. Yeah?
Aye, but just not exposing the youngsters to this sort of pressure at times.
I'll give him my rationale with him. Look, I just think that we've got a lot of money that we pay out, and collectively we're not getting a return for some of the bigger earners and some of the lesser earners who are just, if you like, heavy, as you say, squad players. I think it's time to move on, and it's purely down to economics, mate. I don't see them being even squad players potentially going forward. And what they're showing us now, stranger things have happened. They have a great pre-season. Somebody goes in the team and bang, I get it. But as we sit today, Southside, I would take money for the two of them and move on and get that wages up to help you bring in maybe even more Scottish talent. Just maybe to see how that goes.
We need more physical players. The whole midfield's too light. Or the park.
There you go. If we start a team and you've got Barron and McCord's under it, your was not going to be very big, is it?
And if you had Raskin in there and you had Lyle Cameron in there,
somebody get a telly on, or somebody get something on in the background, we're picking it up.
It's it seems to be what a supporter team we've got out there.
Aye, exactly. I think Bob Cheers joined us.
All right, Bob, evening. How we doing?
How you doing, mate? All right.
That's going not too bad. Apparently the club released a statement in the last hour, is that right? About the takeover.
Oh, I'll just see if I can get that man up, mate. I've been busy arguing with Southside. I'll try to educate him if I've been honest, Steve here.
What are you arguing about?
Well, it's his round, as usual.
Oh, you're arguing about that? Oh, I've heard that argument. I've heard that argument for a long time.
I don't mind, Bob Jerry, I don't mind buying real beer, but you want to see what this Oxjair's drink these days, by the way. It comes with an umbrella in it and everything.
Oh, right. Aye. Flour on a witch's nipple, I know. But there you go.
Are you talking about the statement where about the sporting director, Bob J.R., that's official now?
It's that English guy who goes on YouTube. I don't know whether to believe it or not, but seemingly that's the first time that the 49ers and Rangers have released a joint statement.
I'll see if I can find. I'll see if I can
find it. It's on YouTube.
Yes, I
think I've got that somewhere.
Let me just see if I can find it. Yeah, I'm sure the research department will be on it, Stevie.
Yes, I'm on to it.
Yeah, listen, it's no. By the way, my gripe with Connor Barnes started the season all right. It's just since that Leon moment again. I just think the jerseys get too big for him. And by the way, that's not a small medium, is it? For him and Ross, you know, and you know, it's just maybe time. Just the way I see it, Stevie.
Listen, all I know is we need players that's going to hit that ground running. And I just think there's players had chance. There's players had their chance. McCausland's had his chance for me. I'm sorry, I can't get back on it. It doesn't matter if he's a youngster man, he's one of the troops, he knows what it's about or what. I'm sorry, he's had his chance. That Aberdeen there was the last straw for me. Come on. He was woeful before he gets sent off. He couldn't tackle, he couldn't pass a ball, he couldn't run with the ball, he couldn't pick a man out for 2 yards. And I know what the argument is, the whole team were rotten. Yeah, I get that. But we're talking about this one guy. And I just think he's had his chance. And I would be disappointed if he was going to be one of our squad players next season. I'm sorry, I just would be. And I agree with Southside. We can't get rid of everybody. We've got to keep some people, no, as squad players. But he wouldn't be one of them for me. I'm sorry, he definitely wouldn't be. And I can't retract that. I wish I could retract, but I can't. I can't retract it. It's just how I feel about the boy. He came on against Malmo, scored a good goal. He should have kicked on for then. He's regressed. Every time he's been brought on, he's been posted missing. He's brought nothing to the game. Absolutely nothing. Nothing to it. I'm sorry. If he's going to be one of the squad players next season, I'll be disappointed. I really will be.
I think Connor Barnes' season went down the tube with an horrendous pass against Leon. We were doing all right against Leon that night to that moment. That happens. People make mistakes in the game. I don't think he's been quite the same player for us since. I don't know. I agree with you about Ross McCausland and Connor Barnes as well. They're squad players. They're not good enough to take us on to major honours. I don't think so. So we'll see. Hey ho. Well, we can't put everybody out the door. We'll just have to wait and see what happens.
Oh, of course we can. Of course we can. And by the way, we've got to be fair to them. They've got contracts, so it'll be their choice ultimately.
Aye.
You know?
Yeah. Aye. It's an uncertain time for Rangers again with the transition of this takeover, and we're all like hens on hot girdles waiting to see what's going to happen, because we can't afford another season like this. We're on the verge of sitting watching them lifting everything again. Not going to pitfall them. That's been done enough already. It's us that has to get better. Us that has to get better, because they'll make sure they get better. So we've just got to. It's a time of uncertainty again for the club, and it's got to improve. So whatever transpires in the takeover, we'll just have to wait and see. By the way, I'm sure you've mentioned it. Did you listen to that dick? I shouldn't say things like that. Halfwit Barkley about the strip rapping. Did you hear him? Did you ever hear such a load of nonsense all the days of your life? Eh?
Yeah, the guy get caught pulling his jersey. Yeah, it doesn't matter if it rips or it doesn't rip, but it's still a free kick in the box. It's a penalty kick, mate. It's as simple as that, yeah.
Dear.
Yeah, we know that people have got their agendas, mate, yeah. He's playing his narrative, yeah.
Aye. Well, I'm going to apologise, because again, as you can at night, I'll take the dog in the water and give him his runabout and what have you. And I come out of the Cardinal son. I've got to apologise for. I flicked on that radio Clyde when I was going down in the car, and he was on making that statement. And I said to myself, you clown. I cried him everything that I can't say on Rangers Radio, of course. But I said to myself, no, mate. You're well out of order. You're well wrong there. You're the only one I've heard saying that. I just couldn't believe it. I've heard a lot of balls of that about football, maybe talk some about myself. Never to that extent. Anyway, subject closed. Subject closed. It's been and it's gone, but we'll no forget. That's what they think of you. But you've come across that statement yet, no? Sorry?
No, we're working on it, mate. We're working on it, but
Right.
The statement that came for the only official statement that's come out for is for the club about the sport director. The other thing is came for clickbait sites who are trying to get hits, mate. Yeah?
Probably.
There's nothing official, yeah.
No.
Yeah.
No.
You had this stuff in. I mean, look, there might be some.
Them going on about Sean Dyche being the manager. God forbid.
I don't know. I don't see it personally, but stranger things have happened. And listen, them who pay the piper call the tune, mate, and they'll do their due diligence and they'll hopefully come up with somebody. Who would you go for, Bob? Yeah.
Oh, Again, there's that many names getting bandied about. I'm not wanting Gerrard to come back. That's stepping back the way. Gerrard did all right when he was here, but he decided to up to the Premier League. We all know what he did. I'm not wanting him to come back. I want to go in the future. I heard tonight something ridiculous on the radio that this guy that's in charge of Leeds United, he might be getting the push because they're probably looking for a more glamorous name now that they're in the Premier League. I think he might be a bad appointment. Don't know. We'll see. But then again, we didn't want somebody else's cast-offs. I'm undecided about Ferguson. Ferguson's got the club at heart. We all know that, how he feels. He played for the club, captained the club. Then he kind of was good enough to take it through a full season. Jose Mourinho, well, he'd never be away from Park Gardens, arguing with the SFA. I don't know. This German guy, he might seem like a good option because they're usually good, steady managers, the Germans. I think we're just simply going to have to wait and see. Who do you fancy if I can get in the panel?
We've done it, mate. And
you've done it. Aye.
we've done it, and Stevie started halfway. He disagrees. We'll bring Stevie, and he did fancy Gerrard back. Stevie?
Fancy Gerrard back, right. Okay.
Aye.
I'll support the manager, whoever he is.
I said it just came to Ox asked me off a coffee, would you like to see in? Something I've never really good thought about, but if Gerrard was to come back, I don't think I'd be unhappy about it. You know what I mean? But Ox was right in what he pointed out. The tactical stuff, is something that somebody would need to come in with him, you know. But I definitely think the players would want to play for Stevie Gerrard, 100%. And I think he might just be the wee key ingredient between the fans, him, and the players, you know, to get the three of them gone again. Because I enjoyed the wee trip I was on with Stevie G last time. He gave us our European football back, he gave us our self-respect back in Europe. And eventually we knew why he was gone, and it was we got 55, and look at the way we won that season. So I enjoyed my football under Gerrard. Eventually got what we wanted to do. It was just a pity the way he left. A lot of people didn't like the way he left, but as I said, there was a case of he wasn't getting the financial backing. The rumours were then, whether that's true or no, we'll never know, or they'll know. But I wouldn't be unhappy if Stevie G came back, put it that way.
Well, at least you know the club.
There's no an obvious candidate, if you're being honest, Southsider.
There's plenty of managers out there, but
there's plenty of managers, but there's no an obvious candidate, is there?
No, I know we looked at Knutson before at Bodo, and he seems to be doing all right again this year. But I don't really want to get down the route of a foreign manager, if I'm honest. I think we've had more success, Scottish and British managers at our club in the time that I've been watching Rangers. More sustained success. So I think if I had the choice, I'd rather it was this British manager we get. I think, but Gerrard Hodd's the sort of thing, because you know what he's like and he'll attract players and stuff, but managerial experience and what he's done since he left and whatnot, it's not been great. But not to say that it couldn't work at Rangers for a second time. And he certainly knew how to beat them and all. Over a sustained period in the league, kept us undefeated against them for a period of games. But he knows what it takes and all that, Bob Kerr, but we need money, funds, stuff like that. But apart from that, I mean, there's plenty of managers out there that have been managers. Leeds tried one at Jose Marsh or whatever his name was, and it didn't work out for him there, but he done well at Leipzig and that, and where he'd been before in Germany, and some managers work, some don't. It's critical, whoever we bring in, it works. It's got to work. We can't be looking at our manager 18 months down the line. It can't happen. No, it's got to be the right fix this time, and it's got to start and go straight away. We've got Champions League qualifiers soon, and we need to get that sorted, and we need a squad, and we need to know who's going to be gone with us and who's not.
Well, name our Caxinas and Beals. I've been doing that road too often. Anyway, it's got to be somebody of stature, somebody who's going to take the club places. I would agree with that. CVG's got the stature, and he knows what he's coming back to. So I'm not going to hold my hands up. I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. We're just going to have to wait and see. Might get the surprises with life. I don't think it's going to be Jose Mourinho. I don't think he's going to come here to this league. I don't think so. Oh, the man's won everything.
No,
He might. Sorry, when you come up.
The only thing I know about Gerard is our season ticket money's all in. We're ready to go.
Aye, you're ready to go. Aye, ready to go. The club, the supporters, we're all ready for the transition. The propaganda machines try to deny, but they're wrong. That'll harm to the club. The club might be a different animal next year. We all certainly hope so. We want this to be a success. It's got to be a success. Can he handle another disappointment like this? We should be going for a league title and we should be in cup finals. That's Rangers. For no, it's one season. Put it by us and move on next year. It's like the rest says, we're like hens on a hot girdle waiting to compete again, and we will. Got to harm. It will harm. I'm going to sign off for you guys. Well, thanks for taking my call once again. Enjoy the rest of your evening, boys. I'll see you on later on, eh?
Always a pleasure, Bob. Yeah.
That's always a pleasure to be here, Ox. The rest of the guys. Good
yeah,
night
sorry
now.
about that. I believe I dropped out, mate. Something must have been technically wrong there, but good to always hear from Bob. Yeah. Listen, interesting show tonight, Stevie. Yeah.
Of course, it always is. You just don't know where it's going to take us. Good to be on, Ox. Brilliant. My wingman, as you can see, that we don't always agree with each other about the Rangers, whether about the players, off the park, on the park, whatever it is. That's what the show's all about, the platform's all about.
Do you know what he's messaged me? You know how you're always on a go that we pick on you? Yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, well, he said that's us two for the north side, ganging up on him, the south sider.
Oh, God, to the Clyde, right?
I don't need to text, big man. I'll just tell you, winner.
Aye. They'll never come between us south side. Never, ever. That's the
only thing that comes between you two is the Clyde.
I don't know, he might have to hold us up next week. You need to share him.
Listen, I'm not taking any money with me next week. You two owe me.
There we go, yeah.
What's that?
Still no picture.
Have I got to take you for something to eat so to make up for the last one?
Oh, you can eat buffet. Sign me up.
I'm only there for a few days, mate. Right. Last word for your good self, Big Stevie.
Listen, thanks for having us on. Brilliant. Good to get to. Love talking about my team. Love being to disagree with my wingman. That's what spells are all about. So, that's just. Your season ticket money's in. Things is in. You're in. How tight is in. No matter who's taking there. No matter the man.
So say you go on mute, mate. Okay. Cheers, Stevie. Good to hear from you. Last word for your good self, Southside.
Hi, good to be on the night with Big Stevie as always, and it's good to talk about the famous Glasgow Rangers. We're all wanting the best for it, mate, as we know, and we're hoping that this year, when the new regime comes in, they'll get it right and we'll get kicking straight away for the start of the season. So that's what we're all looking forward to. Apart from that, it'll be onwards and upwards on Saturday down to Paisley, where we've paid our money, Stevie, and we want to see a 3 o'clock kick-off. I was going to say that, and we want to see a win and hopefully see a few different players on the park, you know, a bit of freshness. So thanks for having us on, and thanks to all the troops on YouTube that have joined in tonight and enjoyed it. Hope you've enjoyed the show and everybody else that's listened in. So as always, mate, there's only one team and one crown.
Yeah. Good to hear from your good self, Stevie and Southside. Of course, Bob Jeff for taking the time to join us, Fox and Old School Blue in the background, working hard on the technical, because there's a lot happening on the technical front that we're struggling to control at the moment. But thanks for everybody for listening. Rangers Radio will be back tomorrow night between 8 and 10, talking about all things Rangers. Take it away, Old School Blue.